Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti, and today we are going to stream. Things are getting back to normal. All is going to be well. Everything's going to be fine. Stay inside or I'll come to your house and light your head on fire. Today we are going to do some repairs, actually, because I have a bunch of stuff that need to get fixed on the workbench over here to my right, and we will do some Q&A as usual. We're gonna finish the Acrobrat Duo finally, and we're gonna put some different motors on a glide, maybe two. But other than that, we're just gonna hang out as usual. Anybody who hasn't been over here before, welcome. Thanks for coming. You probably came from Joshua Bardwell's channel. What else can I say? Try to keep it kind of loose over here. Celebrate my failures along with you guys. Hopefully you can laugh at me. If you're not laughing with me, I'm okay either way. And yeah, I'm the guy that did the power loop and Matty flip at the 2 years ago at Quad Camp around the folding tables in the loading dock. So that was fun, and it's been quite a ride ever since. So first things first. I need that Nightbot. I saw that that Nightbot getting those duplicate, I don't know, things. Words are hard. Participants in the chat: Anders Martinson is here, Big Willie FPV is here, Brent Vogelsang is here. I can't believe I just pronounced it correctly. That was a first. I didn't say Vogelsang like I always do. I said Vogelsang. Man, damn, I'm good. Cement Kid is here. Harry Potter Audiobooks is here. You were over on Joshua's stream. Thank you for coming to my stream and more than likely being the best name in the house tonight. Gel Captain is here. John Dyson, Joshua Owen, Just Because, Ken Hill, Kevin Durant, Matthew DeHarsh, Nick T, Off Axis FPV, Parts for Bent Toys, Proton to Go, Sean Hussein, Supercell is here, Ty K, 10 Holt 2015. I saw somebody hop in. Let me see. Ooh, License to Drive is here. Nick T is here. All right, I'm going to end it there. Adam Bostwick, Four Eyes FPV. That's it. Anybody else, you got to get in, you got to comment early, and I will give you a shout out. All right, yeah, right. Axis says, stay at home, or I'm going to leave and come cough on you. Supercell says, my man, Supercell, guess what? Ugh. I got it bound, yo. It fought me, which Crossfire always does. I don't know what it is, but the Lua script doesn't work worth a shit for me. No, it's good. You can leave it. But yeah, I persisted, and I just... Basically, the Lua script just doesn't work for a while, and then I just have to keep hitting bind. And then I think this time I ended up hitting bind on the micro transmitter. And it bound. And then I got out there thinking that I'd put Betaflight on here, and all was well. And it had Falco on it. And yeah, you ain't kidding. This needs some serious tuning. I flew it for 10 seconds on Falco since the arm switch lined up as the same switch. But yeah, the motors are getting burning hot. So I have to put this onto Betaflight. I completely forgot that I didn't hook it up to the computer to get Betaflight on it. But yeah, I'll get the RPM filters on this guy, and like magic, I'm sure that the motor heat issues will be gone, and it'll fly fantastic after a little bit of tuning, and then we can give it away. So yeah, you guys have one hell of a giveaway coming. In order to get entered, this is going to be a 5-inch tier only giveaway through Patreon. Basically what that means is $20 tier on Patreon is the 5-inch tier. That enters you into 4 giveaways per month, basically every Monday night. International shipping is going to be a pain in the ass. Hopefully it's not buffering. I'm not dropping frames. I don't know. Wuhan haircut. Oh yeah. So yeah, if you get in on that 5-inch tier, you will be entered in the giveaway. One Monday, we'll pick a Monday where there's a lot of folks. Oh, very cool, Pretty Fly. Very cool. Good to meet you at the protest. Yeah, and then somebody will win one hell of a build. This is a Hyperlow Vert V2 frame, T-Motor 55 amp all-in-one ESC. This is the Cricket Edition flight controller, Unify High Volt, Crossfire Nano, nice little Axie antenna, T-Motor F80 Pro 2s, which are a Pro rather, 1900 kV. This is a 2408 motor with all the power in the universe. And by then I should have a second. I should have a session mount as well as this hero mount. And then I put a little run cam racer in here with the super slick carbon fiber finish, which you guys can't see. This was donated by Supercell Billy, super cool dude. Donated to the cause to get as many people onto the Patreon as possible. I spend a lot of time on Patreon, more so I used to than now. Things have been really busy, but yeah, it's a lot of good articles over there, a lot of good tech over there. So Billy is part of the cause and trying to get folks to just get over there and get involved in that Patreon page because, yeah, it can save you a lot of money. There's a lot of testing that I've done that'll save you from having to test stuff and buy the wrong shit. So yeah, the other thing, so the way I have the Patreon set up, just real quick, anybody overseas, it's a little bit more difficult because the shipping is absolutely murder. I'm willing to cover $5 worth of shipping because that's what it is, US. If you win and you're overseas, you've got to cover the rest of the shipping. It's kind of a pain. So if you're overseas, I don't know if the giveaways are going to be the greatest thing for you. It's Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern too, so you won't even get to see it. But if you're willing to cover the shipping and you want to get in on the game, feel free. Patreon link down here somewhere. $5 tier if you want to enter into. So for anybody overseas, I would probably not recommend the $5 or $10 tiers because it'd be cheaper for you just to get the stuff local. But for something like this, it might actually make sense for you, Europe folks. So $5 tier is Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaways. $10 tier is 3-inch brushless, like Acrobrat-ish stuff giveaways, and then the 5-inch giveaway tier is $20. And then for $30, if you have the reason I did this is so that if you only have Tiny Whoops, you don't have a chance of winning 5-inch stuff, right, and vice versa. If you have Tiny Whoops, Toothpicks, 3-inch brushless rigs, and 5-inch rigs, and you want to get into 12 giveaways per month, I think that's the way the math works out. Yeah, 12 a month. There's a $30 tier. $30 or up, basically, and you get entered into everything, and then you win lots of stuff like those guys have, because that's a lot of giveaways to be in. And then, of course, as a side effect, you get access to my Patreon with all the good stuff. Early releases of edits, rough cuts, all kinds of fun stuff. So, yeah, there's my pitch for my Patreon. If you like what I'm doing here and you want to support me, that is the best way, because it's just the slickest way that I've found to kind of give you some extra value for supporting me. Like, I love that you guys support me and whatnot, but I want to give back at least a little bit. So, I mean, even for $3 a month, you get access to all this super secret stuff, and it's great, and everybody loves it, and it's a really cool community. When are all the giveaways? Asks Anders Martinson. Monday nights. Monday night at 10 o'clock Eastern is when I do the giveaways, and then I message everybody on Patreon so that if you missed it Monday night, that's okay. You don't get, like, penalized. But we also do a Super Chat giveaway Monday night. So you do have to be there for that. I think that's about it. I think that pretty much explains the Patreon and this awesome rig, which, yeah, maybe we'll get it onto... What if we put it onto Betaflight right now? Screw it. Let's put it on... no, I'm charging my goggles. Okay. Well, wait. I'm going to put this onto Betaflight in a... no, all facts is don't ever... Nobody say sorry for not being able to support you guys hanging out, watching these on replay, coming hang out live. That's all that I need. That is what I want from you guys. The Patreon, I was kind of browbeaten into by members of the community that are awesome and understood better than I did that there's some actual value to what I'm doing here. So, yeah, man, you guys hanging out is all the love that I need. The Patreon thing is just for Funsies. So yeah, yeah, I'll do a separate stream. So I'm trying to get my goggles charged over here, and that's the only micro cable that I have, micro USB cable that I have handy. So I will get this flashed on either when the whatever. We'll figure something out. I need what? Can I?
Yeah.
Biggest favor in the world. Oh.
Any one of these?
Look at you go. Can I get water?
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at this. I forgot about this cable. It's USB, and then look, it's got 2 micro connectors. So let's plug it in. We're gonna put Betaflight. You guys can see my method of going through Betaflight and my words, my like generic PIDs and filters and all that fun stuff. A lot of folks ask me for that, so I think you guys will dig this. So let's get this swapped over. And poops magoops. 10-hole asks what goggles I use and why do I like them. So I use Fat Shark HD3s and I like them. They're just a solid goggle. Nothing crazy, nothing like insane. You can get them cheap now, which is really good. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear. Oh, fuck me. This is not a. This is one of these stupid ass cables that doesn't pass data, isn't it?
You want me to grab
whoever decided that you don't have to add a make them like bright red or something when they don't transmit data should be beaten with a stick. No, I'm good. Thanks, baby. Let's see. I bet you it is. Of course it is. I mean, of course it is. Oh, hey, baby, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you plug my goggles in out there? That'll work.
Sure can.
Thank you.
Your water's behind the...
Teamwork. My water's behind the something or other. I started screaming before she finished because I'm a jerk.
Your microphone.
Microphone was the word that she said. Come on, plug in. Get in there. Get plugged in. Come on. Would you just... Billy, why'd you put this power wire right in the way of the USB port? You're killing me. Ooh. Got it. Got it. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. Okay. Hopefully you guys could hear something there. All right, let me pull Betaflight over onto the sharing screen, and we will do the things. Let me get a little bit of zoom action going. I forget the keystroke. There's the keystroke. Okay, I got that zoomed in a little bit. Let's allow. Okay, so the big. Oh man, that zooms in the chat. I can't have that. All right, you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so yeah, HD3s. I got them about a year ago, and at the time they were the cat's pajamas, and the day that they arrived, the HDOs were announced, which is fine because I like the bigger field of view. But yeah, they've been great goggles, total workhorses. So I've used HDOs, I've used HDO2s, and they are better, but I don't. So my buddy Brad, actually, McManus FPV, one of our fearless moderators, he realized this, and it was so like I'd tried them, and I'd tried HDOs, HDO2s, and there was no pang of like, oh, I need to order these. It was just like my HD3s are fine, and I didn't know why. Brad totally hit the nail on the head with it. The HD3s, like, yes, the OLEDs. So the difference between the HD3s and the HDOs and the HDO2s is that the HDO line has OLED screens, which basically shut the LEDs completely off to produce blacks. So the blacks are blacker. The dynamic range is wider. A regular goggle just puts, it always runs the backlight, and then it tries to block the backlight to create black, so your dynamic range is like this. The HDO2s, since they shut the LED off, your range of contrast goes like that, and it becomes wider. The darks are darker. For like a viewing experience, that's better. But as a pilot, all I really care about in the goggles is seeing where the hell I'm going, and just being able to pick out objects to not smash into, hopefully. And the HD3s do that, in my opinion, just as good as the HDOs. So, like, basically what Brad said is the HDO2s, they don't give you any more information as a pilot. Yes, they look better. And, yeah, they look better. So when you're in the goggles, it's like you're watching a better quality TV. But all the same information is still there. So the HDO2s for $500 or whatever they are wouldn't really make me any better of a pilot, and for a difference of $200, even buying the HD3s new, I'll take the HD3s and then put that $200 into like motors that I can bang up and fly more often, or more batteries so I can, you know what I mean? Like, this hobby for me, there's a lot of I really try to keep a close eye on like value per, I don't know. I think it's important not to just like, ooh, the newest, fanciest, shiniest thing. That's going to make me a better pilot. Like, if your concern, if one of your major concerns is being a better pilot, I think that you need to put your money where your mouth is, kind of, and yeah, buy things that are going to do that. Don't just buy everything. Also, because every time you buy something new, you have to relearn it a little bit. So, having the same goggles over and over and over and over and over again, potentially you could say makes me a better pilot than switching over to something with a different field of view, a different range of contrast, blah, 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 blah. So for me, in my opinion, HD3s are the best goggle right now in terms of value to dollar. And then, although I would love to get a set of Orcas. So I recently realized how nice it would be. Well, first of all, I didn't even realize that the Orcas had this cool ability to connect to your phone and live stream through your phone. And, like, that's pretty sick. So I think I really want to get a set of Orcas for that, so that I can stream for you guys from the field. Because now that the weather's warming up, I'm going to fly a lot after work. Hey, there's McManus. Everybody hit Brad's channel, McManus FPV. Go over there, check out his stuff. He's got some new shit coming, and he's my best friend in the world, has been for almost 20 years, and yeah, just a good dude. If you think I'm a good dude, go over to his channel. He's the real good dude. So yeah, I think I might need to get a set of Orcas for you guys, so that when I'm going out flying at 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can fly a few batteries, get warmed up, and then stream one of my later batteries for you guys, so that you can see me absolutely destroying everything in sight. Breaking all my gear, flying hard, doing all the fun things. So who knows? Maybe we'll, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, Q&A stuff. Because things. Also, if you want me to see your question, make sure you type the @ symbol and then start typing CiottiFPV, or type it all the way out, and that'll light your question up in orange for me. So @ and then my YouTube name. And I'll actually be able to see your comment, because when I start working on this stuff, it's really difficult for me to see the monitor over here. And all right. Off-axis FPV, stay at home, leave you. Supercell, my man. Supercell, hope you're doing better and found some toilet paper. I am certainly doing better. I haven't found any toilet paper. We also haven't really looked, though. We were very lazy yesterday and this morning. But we will. We're probably 3/4 of the way through our last roll, so all hope is not lost yet. We haven't had to resort to 3 seashells, but you never know. Shit's going crazy. Enough talking about the COVID. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Pretty fly for a white guy. We met at the protest in DC. Pretty fly, did I get you a sticker? speaking of, stickers for sale, $5 for 2. I won't sell you just one. I have sticker anxiety. If I ever just buy one sticker, I never put it on anything. I put it in my sticker box just in case the perfect situation arises in my future for that sticker. So because of that, I won't sell you just one, just in case you're as crazy as I am. I'll only sell you 2 so you can stick one and save the other one for the perfect situation. I don't have any kind of like a retail portal yet, so we're just doing like PayPal. Message me, CiottiFPV. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, elsewhere. Message me, $5, 2 of them, PayPal. Yeah. What else is new and fun? There's a goat, as usual. There are... Oh! FPV Therapy is a group on Facebook. If you search Facebook for FPV Space Therapy, you will find it. If one of the mods can drop the link, that would be awesome too, but it's easy to find. This is a group for the mental illness folks in this community, of which I am one. Right now, today, I am in a manic phase. It looks like I'm getting a full psychological workup. Awesome, very excited about that. 2 weeks from now. But what my talk therapist thinks they're going to find is bipolar 2, which is basically you bounce highs and lows of depression down low, and then what's called manic up top here. Up until 3 or 4 days ago, I was at pretty nasty low, just mired in depression. A few days ago, I oscillated back up, and I'm in a manic phase right now. So for most of my life, I thought that the manic phases were the real me. So whenever I wasn't manic, I just thought I was depressed. That's not quite the case. The real me is actually somewhere in the middle. So the trick now is figuring out how to bring the manic periods down. Because basically what happens is you have this manic period, and then you crash, and then you come back up, and then you come back down, and you just bounce up and down really high. I've been working for many years on kind of doing this so that the lows aren't as low and unfortunately the highs aren't as high, but that's okay because like when it becomes manic, it's like crazy, it's chaos. Like, oh, it's 2 a.m. let's vacuum the ceiling. It's just nutty. So yeah, I'm trying to keep myself under control so that hopefully I don't crash and disappear for another week on you guys. But hey, this is what it's like to live with mental illness. If any of this sounds familiar to you, or if you have traumatic stuff in your past that you can't stop thinking about, maybe when you go to sleep or something like that, come on over. These are forms of mental illness. You can find others of us that have it and are talking about it, and you'll be able to relate. Maybe you'll get some advice on how to deal with it, medications that are working for us, all kinds of good stuff. 1 in 4-ish people have some sort of mental illness. So yeah, it affects you, even if you don't have it. You're very lucky, but it affects people around you. So come on over, learn some stuff about it. You'll be a better person for it. And yeah, a lot of comedians also have it. So it tends to be a funny subject. We laugh so that we don't cry. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Something we did over there. The reason for me mentioning that. One of our members was going in for a procedure. Oh boy, that's probably really loud for you guys. Sorry about that. One of our guys was going in for a procedure, not mental illness related, actually just health related. And he'd mentioned on the group over there that he was going to be like laid up for like a month, really barely able to walk. And he just kind of started to get into the hobby, and he jokingly said, like, I need to get my whoop game up. So I made an event over there, and I invited everybody but him on that group, and a bunch of awesome folks chipped in, and we got him a newbie drone brushless tiny whoop. And I threw in a bunch of the batteries, Betaflight 300 mAh batteries that I'd had from one of the giveaways, and yeah. So we've got this guy, Gabriel is his name. I'm going to try to meet up with him this afternoon, well, after the stream, now that we have some good daylight. And yeah, give him his next month of his life. So that'll be super cool. And I also found a little, I forgot he wouldn't have a way to charge the batteries because he doesn't have a Whoop yet. So I remember that I had this little guy just kind of floating around. So yeah, this will be super fun to hopefully run that over to him if the rain holds off and if he can make it to the, there's sort of like the new school Atlanta crew, basically. They fly every Sunday, and Gabriel usually tries to get out to those. So hopefully he's there. Hopefully I can make it over there, and yeah, we'll brighten his day a little bit. What else? Speaking of tiny whoops, I am working on building the ultimate tiny whoop. This is the Beta FPV. This is the same thing that's in there. Production board, prototype motors actually, which are 20,000 kV. I also have Happy Model 25,000 kV motors. The best whoop pilot in the world. I've been talking to about his, freestyle pilot, I should say. I've been talking to about his setup, and he uses those Happy Model motors. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to put those motors on this frame or Beta FPV is actually sending me a couple AIO boards, one for a 1S whoop and another one for a toothpick. So I'm going to basically have two whoops. I'm going to have like this newbie drone setup, which my thoughts on this setup are, okay, so let's look at a couple things here. Mobula 6, $80, ridiculous. Best camera available in the Runcam Nano 3. Best motors available, which are these 25,000 kV motors. Best, oh crap. Technically speaking, best board, right? Because, not best board, lightest board. Because it's an AIO board that has the VTX and the receiver on it. So it's the lightest board hands down. The big problem with that board is they don't last. They just fail. Which apparently happens like very often. Oh, no wonder why the lighting is all screwed. Hold up. Ah, that's better. I was wondering why it looks so strange in here. So yeah, Mobula 6 for $80 if you can find it. Crazy value. Not the best frame, and the camera pod looks like a testicle. So, you know, definite negatives there. I mean, I don't know. Call me vain, but I don't want to fly my ball sack around. But yeah, so if you can find it, just get that. But you probably won't be able to find it, or if you're like me and if components failing just drives you absolutely to the end of your sanity, maybe don't get it. Maybe just get it for parts. So basically what I think is going to happen is I'm going to have two whoop setups that I'm going to try to get to be as good but much more reliable than that. One of them is going to be newbie drone based. So it's going to be the newbie drone cockroach frame. It's going to be their canopy here. It's going to be their production board, which has the VTX built in, but doesn't have the receiver built in, which I actually kind of like. I like having the receiver separate because you can do an RXSR, you can do an XM Plus, an XM. Newbie Drone even has these tiny, tiny, tiny little FR Sky compatible receivers that are a little bit lighter than the RXSR. Shit, you could do a Crossfire if you can figure out something fancy to do with the antenna. So yeah, I really like that setup, and the camera that they use is pretty damn good too. So I think this is going to be that setup. It'll probably be a little bit heavier weight, which kind of makes sense with those 25,000 kV motors. So I think that's what's going to be that. Here, let me give you guys a little macro love on this fella. Let's get a little bit more light on it here. Hold up 1 second. Where's my little LED light? There it is. All right, so here you guys go. Here's a little bit more macro love for you. This is where I'm at. I swapped the where's the focal point? There it is. I swapped the frame and the canopy out to be their smoke color. But yeah, this is what the newbie drone rig looks like. I really, really like this cockroach frame. I have not been able... I have slammed this thing so hard and it just keeps going. So I'm kind of playing around with these HQ props. I don't think I like them. I think I like the Gem Fan 4 blades better. But these are a little bit lighter. So I wanted to see if these would clean up the PID tune a little bit. Because I was flying it outside a bunch, just kind of screwing around the other day. But the other setup is going to be on the Beta 85X or something. No, not 85X, 65. I don't know. This is the Meteor frame. That's what it is. Meteor 65 frame, which is supposedly the best frame available. It is like a half a gram lighter than the Cockroach frame, so that's super interesting. I've got that Betaflight 1S Tiny Whoop brushless board coming, which is a lighter control board. It's got like the most of the control boards are a square. This one has the four corners scalloped inwards, like the silverware boards, but not. It's not silverware only. So it'll be the lightest frame. I don't know if it's the lightest frame, but it's the lightest durable frame from what I've been told by a bunch of folks, including the best freestyle tiny whoop pilot in the world. And then it's going to be that lightweight flight controller. And I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do about a camera yet. I'm thinking that I'm going to go with the tinywhoop.com new pinch camera. I'm just waiting on them to come out with the specific canopy for it. And then Beta FPV is also sending their Bearing 22,000 kV 0802s. So I'm very excited about those. And iFlight is sending me a set of their 0802s, which I also think have bearings. And they're even sending me replacement bearings, which is super cool of them. So these two, there's going to be the lighter weight version that's only 22,000 kV, and then the heavier one that's 25,000. And yeah, we'll get to kind of test them and see what's up. The other thing is these new Nitro Nectar kind of expensive batteries are unbelievable. Compared to the Beta FPV 300 mAh batteries, which are like a gram lighter, it just doesn't matter. The extra gram from these is so worth the extra power. It's kind of crazy how much more ass these batteries have. So definitely recommend checking these guys out. They are a little bit expensive, but hey, you get what you pay for. And I've flown them a bunch, and they're not getting all puffy. So maybe you pay more to get a battery that lasts more than like 10 cycles before it commits Harry Carry. So yeah, cool things coming on the Whoop front. That should help stave off the COVID fever, as I've just decided to call it. And I think, the other thing that I'm excited about for that, for this other build, I can't use this excellent little antenna here. I think this is called like the Switchback or the Razor Nipple, or I don't know what the hell it's called. I forget. But this is like the lightest weight little... wait, no, I can't do that. I got to do it this way. All the light's coming from this side. Yeah, this is the lightest weight little circular polarized antenna option I've been able to find. It's the lead on it is not quite long enough for the for where the UFL port is on the newbie drone board, so I can't use it on that. So I just have to use a regular linear on this guy. But with that Tiny Whoop VTX pinch camera combo setup, I will be able to run this. So this will be cool to have. Because circular polarized antennas legitimately do give you a better feed in the goggles, and I've got a set of Immersion RC power plays coming as well, so I'll actually be able to do edits with Tiny Whoops and show you guys what I'm up to, because I followed Mark Spatz's Mobula 7 tuning guide for brushless Tiny Whoops, and I adapted it to be to make more sense for an 0802 smaller prop build, and whew, it is something else. It is incredibly smooth, incredibly smooth. The values are all over the place, like P's up in the 90s and 100s, and D gains up in the 70s and 80s, and the D min is at 70, and it's bananas. But yeah, we'll look at all that, and we'll make some changes to the PIDs, and yeah, it's pretty wild, the tune that I've been able to get on a brushless tiny whoop. So that's coming. Lots of fun stuff coming. I think that's all I wanted to cover on the tiny whoop front. Yeah, it is. All right, good deal. So let's put Betaflight on this Falco X rig that's been plugged in this whole time that I've been just spooing. Oh wait, no, hold on. More Q&A. Hold on. Broken to go says, is flight time of 3 minutes normal for an Acrobrat with a 4S 850? Absolutely. Or should I go 5S 1507 3800? So yeah, totally normal. We're going to finish this, so within the next couple days, hopefully, if it's not raining, I'll be able to give you some feedback on 6S runtimes. But I don't need a long runtime from a micro. I will sacrifice runtime all the way down to like 2 minutes to get more performance, which is the main reason why on my 4S Acrobrat I run 4S 650s. I usually get about 2 minutes 30 out of those, which is enough. I'm fine with that. Micros are not going to have the same runtime as full-size rigs because it's a less efficient prop size. And yeah, for me personally, I don't have a problem changing batteries after 2 minutes to squeeze a little bit more performance out of it. Especially because micros, I'm typically flying in smaller spaces. And yeah, I don't know, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes is fine up in the air. I can switch the battery pretty quick and get right back up. If you constantly fly with a group of 15 people, that might not work for you because as soon as you unplug, somebody else is going to hop in and you have to wait to fly again. But I usually fly alone or with 1 or 2 people. So yeah, this works really well for me. Your miles may vary. Killer B says, yo, what's up, Killer B? That's you, Gabriel, right? You got so many names, man. Maybe you just have 2. Anders Martin says, HT3s are super nice goggles. Won a pair from a giveaway. Wow, it's a hell of a giveaway win. I wish I could give away stuff like that. Swap cable with the goggles since those are charging. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. What do we got? And... oh, come on, YouTube. You did the thing. Man, it went really far this time. Holy cow, there it is. Good idea. Flash Betaflight. Anders Martin says, have you used the R9 system? Unfortunately, yes. If so, as a Crossfire user, is it worth it as a 915 megahertz system, or should I just bite the bullet and go Crossfire? Definitely go Crossfire, Anders. Your control link is nothing to cheap out on. My experience running R9 was that I could never get all of the modules, all of the receivers, rather, to... The thing that finally drove me to give up was that I had like 4 or 5 receivers and I just couldn't get them to all connect at the same time. Even when I would put them all in the same firmware, it was just a fucking nightmare. And then it fell out of the sky twice in situations that there really was no reason for it to fall out of the sky. One time was about a $200 crash. It took a GoPro with it and a whole bunch of other stuff on a really expensive alien frame. And yeah, just the whole experience was a pain in the ass. And it's not that much cheaper than, well, the kit that I got was. I got it on this Christmas deal. It was like $30 for the for the module, the transmitter module, and for like 2 of the receivers. So it was an experiment for me. It ended up being a lot more expensive of an experiment than that because of the amount of stuff that broke as it fell out of the sky. I have also had Crossfire fall out of the sky, but it was my fault. It was basically big empty area. I flew perfectly behind myself, and there was just nothing for the... I had the transmitter down here, right, as we typically do. And there was just nothing for the signal to bounce off of, and I just flew completely behind myself. And you can't do that. You can't go totally behind yourself a quarter of a mile away when there's not some surfaces for the 915 megahertz coming out of the... I was also on 100 milliwatts, so I was on a pretty low output power. and I was using the diamond antenna, which is a good antenna. But yeah, they're just what all of the 915 was going right into my stomach, which is filled with water, which is the best thing you can possibly do to block RF. So that was totally my fault. The R9 failures were absolutely not. In the video, I can actually see myself and see that the antenna is vertical, pointing directly at the rig. Absolutely no reason for it to fail safe. So yeah, there's that. Go Crossfire, especially with like new stuff like CRSF shot, which I still need to get going on. Yeah, just go Crossfire. I love FR Sky for a lot of reasons. R9 is not one of them, unfortunately. Right. John Dyson says it's good to hear you're feeling better. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. More Flash Beta flights. Off Access FPV. Here for the FPV. Stay for the mental health chat info. Learning a lot from you. Feel we are pretty much the same person. Very cool, man. Thanks very much for keeping the conversation open and a humble attitude. Thank you for saying that, brother. I try really hard just to be me and just, I don't know, I work hard in life to be open-minded, caring, a little bit less crazy every day. And it's cool to hear that I'm not doing a bad job of it, so I appreciate it, man. John Dyson almost tagged me. He did at Ciotti. He forgot the FPV, but I still saw it. He said, my wife is respite care for her mental... is in respite? Respite? Oh, respite care for mental health at the moment. Sorry to hear that, man. Missing her so bad at the moment. You don't know how these streams are keeping my mind active. You're a star, man. Hey, thanks, John. Very, very cool. If you're not in FPV therapy, get over there. It'll help. I promise it'll help. I know you might be thinking, yeah, that's crazy. It'll help. Get over there if you're not already. If you are, post something. Off Axis, you too. Daily challenge. Anybody that's in the group, get over there and post a comment or a new post. I know that's been my challenge a couple times now, but I'm going to just keep challenging you guys to do that because mental illness tells us to not do that shit, and I'm here to tell us to do it because I like poking you guys with a stick. Killer B, let me know we're going to meet up and I will make it. Awesome. Anders Martin, opinion on 3D printing a TPU tiny whoop frame. Anders, I cannot possibly imagine that would be stiff enough to not... so the one failure that I get in tiny whoops a lot is when smashing into stuff, the ducts are a little pliable, which is a good thing, but when you start hitting stuff harder, the ducts are pliable enough to bend into the prop, and then because it's a 4-blade prop, that will push directly into the motor shaft, and that will start to bend motor shafts and break bearings, and these bushings are starting to wear out on me in some of the brushless motors. So yeah, I would not do that unless you were planning on not flying it hard at all. The other problem I think you're going to have is it's going to wiggle so much that the PID loop is going to have a hell of a time figuring out what the hell's going on with all the weirdo vibrations that are being created. If you're going to do it, put it on RPM filters for absolute certain, and let me know how it goes, because that's a pretty cool little project. If you were going to print a tiny whoop frame, I would print it in nylon or PLA, or there's a third hard substance. I would use one of those. There's a company that makes a black tiny whoop frame that puts the camera down here in the front, whose name is escaping me, and they 3D print those frames. Somebody hook a brother up and type into the chat who that company is. It's an all-black frame. It's 3D printed. Nick Burns tested it. Camera down in the front here. And it's a really cool-looking little frame. I was very interested in that frame for a minute before the cockroach frame came out. Okay. Cement Kid says, where can I get Molex pins? I'm not super up on the nomenclature, but what are Molex pins? Cement Kid, are those... I thought these were called some weirdo like JST, like version of JST. But these might be Molex pins. Or maybe what you're calling a Molex pin is not what I think I don't know. But what are these? What you're talking about? If this is what you're talking about, Get FPV, Pyro, and RDQ, I think, have a little kit. That's what this is. This is their little kit. It just comes in a bag. I buy these things from Fry's. But yeah, if these are what you're talking about, like the plugs that you connect your flight controller to your a 4-in-1 flight controller to 4-in-1 ESC to a flight controller. There we go. Words are hard. If that's what you're talking about, then there you go. I don't know what else you'd be talking about. Molex pins. I mean, I could just type it in the internet. That's one intelligent thing to do. Molex pins. So technically speaking, Molex pins we don't use. Okay, so I remember Molex pins from back in the airsoft days. Yeah, so the Molex pins are basically the bigger version of these JSTs, I guess. But yeah, that's where you get them. Get them from RDQ. They have a kit. Pyrodrone, I believe, has a kit. Get FPV, I believe, also has a kit. Or Amazon. I'm sure they're on Amazon. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Anders Martinson. Loves the stream, but going to have lunch. Still streaming with Papa. Goodbye for now. You're probably already gone, Anders, but if you watch this on replay, see you later. Hope you had a chance to come back. Ty K says, the Beta FPV 1S only flight controller has issues if it's close to ESC number 4? Antenna has issues if it's close to ESC number 4. Oh my god. If you get RX loss, move the antenna. Here we go. Here we go. Thanks for telling me that, Ty K. That's the kind of thing that would have drove me fucking crazy. All right. Let the games begin. Oh, yeah, thanks for that. That's potentially very, very helpful. License to Drive says, go look at Thingiverse Thing 4080213 back shell for the... Oh, yeah, for the 18650 cells. So I don't have any 18650 cells, so I think I'm just going to stick with those weirdo little ones. And hopefully they'll last long enough. I don't plan on doing like any big flight sessions with it. It's basically just going to be a monitor in my bag for if somebody shows up and, you know, what the hell are you up to? I can just plug in and plug that in and just give them it as a monitor. Or I'm going to use it like when I'm here, home, tiny whooping. I'm probably never going to use it as a DVR when I'm out, because when I go out, I'm trying to fly stuff with HD. HD for a tiny whoop is probably quite a ways off to shrink it down small enough where it's, you know, where the rig is going to be to the weights that we want tiny whoops to be at to fly accurately inside. So yeah, that's basically my use case. Use case. I like jargon. I hate being in the corporate world sometimes because the jargon is infuriating. Not to mention that the jargon is one of the best ways to fuck up a communication between you and a client that might not know the word that you're saying, the stupid inter-industry word that you're saying that has no meaning and is no quicker or easier to say than a regular word that normal humans would use that don't have to show off that they're a corporate fuckwad. I'm not mad about it or anything, though. But yeah, that's going to be my usage for the, I don't know. I hope you guys like that rant. That's one I've had in the chamber for a while, just waiting to let loose. Here you guys go. This is all you need to know. Screenshot it. Read it at a later date. It's all the good stuff. This will not be the shirt that I'm wearing when we get near 200 subscribers on the Patreon, or patrons rather, because I love this shirt. There you guys go. Some words of wisdom and common sense for you. Yeah, best shirt I own, arguably. If you don't follow Neil deGrasse Tyson, close this stream right now and go do it, because that dude is,
Smarter than you.
yeah, just a good human. Okay. Finish the questions, work on shit, 3:53. Maybe I'll go along with this stream because COVID. We don't have anything planned, right? We're not doing shit tonight. Chris is playing with Legos. New hobby for her. New-ish. And I love it. And, yeah. Her and I have both now learned in therapy that you need to have 3 things in your life. You need to have play or a hobby. You need to have work. And you need to have COVID-19. What's the third thing?
Yeah, you need like
Work, play.
independence. You need like time apart. You need independence.
Yeah. And you time. Work, play, you time. Those 3 things are really important. I've always had hobbies that I very specifically didn't. I had hobbies that I monetized early on, and it ruined them. So this happened like in college. And right after college. So I learned this by accident and tried to always have a hobby that wasn't monetized, that was only fun. Women tend to not have hobbies because their hobby tends to be taking care of our lazy fat asses. Taking care of the home, right? A lot of times is what happens. But if we help out more, then they'll have time for hobbies. And that's happened slowly but surely over the last, 5-6 years, I guess? Mm-hmm. And, but what's interesting is Kristen fell into the same trap, where she would pick up a hobby, she would immediately try to monetize it because she'd get good at it, and then unfortunately that can very easily ruin the hobby. Legos are going to be very hard for her to monetize, hopefully impossible. And, like, I can already tell that, because she just, I don't know, there's just this, like, love and like natural obsession when a hobby is just a hobby, and she's in that like really cool phase right now where it's all new and fresh and like super creative, and I don't know, it's happened, that phase has happened to me in every hobby, and I always like look back on it with reverence and like, oh, so pure back then. Oh, the purity. The purity. I don't know what the hell that was. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. FPV is a very interesting hobby in that even though I don't have the purity anymore, it's flying through the air in the real world. Like, how that's never gonna get not cool, right? But it was different. It was definitely different at for the first like year or two, and it's cool to see her in that like amazing phase of like self-discovery and hobby discovery, and she's just like naturally good at it, which makes me angry because I wasn't naturally good at flying, I don't think. But I just smashed my head into it. She's done such cool little things. I don't know, whatever. It's just awesome, and I love it. And yeah, so build Legos. And I've what's a word I can use? You guys are probably not deaf. The mic is right here. I have contracted her out to do Lego installations, I'll call them, in these 2 top cubes here, and then I'll figure out how to light them, and then these 3 top Kallax cubes over here as well. It's gonna be like we'll surprise you. No. If you're here hanging out, all 52 of you, you get the sneak peeks. So over here, hold on, let me get OBS back up. Over here, in these 3 top ones, these are just kind of like, I use the bottom 6 for storage, and then these top ones are just for like show. She's gonna do like a mix of Lego and FPV on these, so we're thinking like a repair shop kind of thing with like fake little lights and cool little like jib jabs and flip flaps and clip clops and glip glops and little cranes and shit like that. And then over here, which way do I have to go? This way? Over here, and these are more car related, so it's going to be like a little car repair garage thing. It's going to be dope. It's going to be super cool. And I can't wait. Killer B, yes, this is Gabriel. I knew it. Proton to go. Today I ran a rush tank at 800 milliwatts without an antenna for like 5 seconds. Is it damaged now for sure? I don't have the IRC meter thing. More than likely, no. The rush tank and the immersion tramp have the reason they're bigger basically than the TBS VTXs is that they have heat sinks built in, so they should be able to handle that kind of thing. They also drop their power level down when they start getting too hot. So you should be totally fine, but there's kind of no way to know. But you should be totally fine. But there's no way to know. But you should be totally fine. So you'll be all right. Yeah. Can't really tell you for sure, but you might be all right. I've done the same. I've done that to tramps and they've been completely fine. Off Axis says, oh, that's you, Marcel. That's right. Okay, good. It's hard for me to keep so many of your guys' YouTube and real names apart. I tried to do it in Patreon by putting a post up and saying, hey, everybody, do me a favor and put all of your different names here in one spot. And that was great, but like I would need to study that post every day to actually remember it because I'm also pretty bad with names as it is. So forgive me, but hey, that's pretty standard fare, I guess, for streamers. Supercell says PP is the best material to 3D print drones. Very cool. I have lots of PP every day. I PP like 4 or 5 times, so that's cool. So get whoever has a 3D printer, start peeing in a jar, and I guess you just dump it on the 3D printer, and then is that it? Rob Axelson says, you mentioned you built a tiny whoop that you've been beating the hell out of. I need that. It's the newbie drone one. I need that info. My wife's middle schooler are destroying my tiny hawks and telos. Yeah, I've been told that this meteor frame is stronger than this newbie drone cockroach frame. I don't know about that, man. It is certainly not stiffer. Like this cockroach frame is very, very stiff and like from an isolating vibrations between the frame and the flight controller board, this is definitely going to be better. I can tell you that for absolute certain. Because like this meteor frame is just floppy and gummy. Not floppy. It's definitely not floppy. The old clear Beta FPV frames, they were floppy. This is much better, but it's nowhere near as stiff as this cockroach frame. And then the canopy that they use on the top to put the camera in is like, here, I'm going to flick it. It's like that harder plastic. It's fucking indestructible. Like, I cannot possibly imagine a world where on 1S, I'm going to be able to break this thing. The motor shaft, sure. But like the whole frame, nah. This is as bomb-proof as I think that we're going to get. I'm very interested to see this frame on a lighter setup. But it sounds like I don't know. If your stuff is getting stepped on and broken, yeah, for sure, the newbie drone setup. No questions asked. If it's getting slammed into stuff and broken, this ultimate whatever thing that I'm doing is going to be 2 grams lighter, I think, which is substantial. And that might make a big difference. So I'll let you know. But as of right now, I have hammered the shit out of this newbie drone brushless Acrobrat, and I have not broken a goddamn thing on it. And I am so impressed by that. The motors are a little bit more noisy for sure, but it's still good to go. Very, very impressive. Molex and JST are just 2 manufacturers of slightly different mini pin connectors. Awesome. Thank you for that, Ty. That is really good info. Tiago says, have you released the hybrid camera review? I have not yet, but in a little bit we're going to finish the Duo if I can stop just yammering on, and that's got a hybrid in it. And check this out. Hold on. There's also this that's got a hybrid in it that is going to be very exciting that I just need to get put together. So with the COVID, I should have time to get this done. And check this out. This is why I was up until 6 a.m. last night, like a lunatic. So that's the other thing that happens when you go manic on well, at least when I go manic on BP2. BP2, bipolar 2. The 2 is the bipolar 1. You oscillate quicker and sometimes more violently. Not like stabbing people violently, although that's not outside of the realm of possibilities. More like if BP2 goes like this, BP1 can go like this. It can. It doesn't have to, but it can. And it happens a lot quicker. Whereas when I have BP2, like I'll get like 3 or 4 days in a nice manic high, and then I'll crash to a depression for like, unfortunately, 2 weeks. Trying to shorten that up, trying to, everything we've been talking about. But yeah. Oh, but when I go manic, I can't sleep. So I was up till 5 a.m. 2 nights ago, 6 a.m. last night. Yeah, it sucks. It's really annoying. But I was up piecing this together. So this is an X-Hover Vanover frame that's going to have a hybrid in it. 20 by 20 Acon AK32. I have a Brain FPV Radix, Brain FPV Radix board that I think the gyro is broken on, but I'm going to give it one last shot at life in here. And I got some Emax 2206s. So this should be a really light build. The Crossfire aren't in there. I haven't weighed it yet. The Crossfire isn't in there. It's not getting a Crossfire. It's getting an RXSR. The RXSR is not in there, and the VTX is not in here. I think it's just going to get an E-Sheen. But other than that, this is all put together. So that's, wow, 255. Oh my goodness. So 255, and then with a battery, let's see. With my current preferred, this is also going to be a 6S setup. These are 1600 kV motors. With my current preferred 5-inch battery, which is a Tattoo R-Line version 1. That's kind of important. The version 3 has gained a bunch of weight. It's like 30 grams heavier. But yeah, the version 1, 1050 mAh 6S. This is a 170 maybe gram battery, I think. So with that, there's also no battery strap. 424. So call it 430 after I add a couple more things. That'll be interesting. It's going to have a ton of prop in view, but I'm going to run neutral density gray props to hopefully get them out of the view. And yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm actually really excited for this. Look at this hot shit that I did on the arms here. It's got the it's got those scallops in the arms like Tommy did on his frame. And what I realized is, because of that, I was able to use the TBS shrink wrap that is when it shrinks up, it gets really hard. It's not stretchy at all. And man, did it make the little air. So one of the when you have the scallops, you got to hold it into the scallop. The wires don't just want to hang out in there on their own. And yeah, that using that harder. What's the difference? One of you guys knows. What's the difference between the shrinky shrink wrap and the shrink wrap that's hard when it, right? I'm sure I could just Google it, but I think you guys know what I mean. Yeah, man, what a clean install that made for the motor wires. Really, really cool. I'm really excited about this rig. I was doing it sort of begrudgingly so that I would have a race rig just for like testing and whatnot. If a lighter weight motor got sent over, or a racing prop or something like that. I wanted to have a rig to test it on, but I'm actually really excited now that I have the hybrid in it. I don't know. We'll see. It should be really cool. I've not flown a 5-inch rig that's really light like this before, so that'll be really interesting. I think. Hopefully you do too. What were we talking about? Things? I don't know. Oh, the hybrid. Yeah, right. So I'll have 3 different rigs to do that hybrid review on. Although I'll probably just do it on the Duo, because I've owed Banggood that review for months, and that's not cool. I don't want to be that guy. I already am, but try my best. Cement Kid ordered a set. What'd you order, Cement Kid? What were we talking about? Signal wires? No. Oh, the connectors. Awesome. Supercell says the Earth is flat. I agree. Hybrid camera review. Oh, Off Axis says installed HMDVR to get microquad F411 stack, but I only get a black screen. Video in to the DVR is on cam and 5V add ground is correct using 3S. Interesting, Off Axis. Interesting. So the way that I installed the HM DVR, although I don't think I had the same one as you. HM DVR S. What the hell is that? What is that? HM DVR S. Okay, yeah, that's the one that I had. The way I installed it is I spliced the video wire out of the camera, so I ran it directly. So the video out of the camera, I spliced into it for an extra wire that went to the DVR. So that the DVR was getting no OSD, and then the rest of the wire went to the flight controller, and then that went to the VTX. So I'm just going to say do it like that, because that way you don't have to... the reason I did that is because I didn't... What I usually do on rigs that I'm going to record DVR from is I put OSD on a switch. So that when I'm flying for footage, I can turn the OSD off and get footage, and then flip it back on real quick to check my battery voltage and turn it back off for more juicy DVR footage. So you won't have to do that. Because that sucks, because then you get like super into it and then it just falls out of the sky and you're very confused, and it's because you ran the battery down to 2 volts per cell. So that's going to be my recommendation, is to wire it like that, because that's just a better way to wire it anyway. And if it still doesn't work, we'll troubleshoot from there. How about that? What do you think of that? Killer B says that word for what the jargon would be used for that you're blanking on because you can't think of what it is anymore. Yeah, I try to not use the jargon words, and then eventually I can't remember them, and yes, that's where it's at. Alright, Tiago says happy wife, happy life. Indeed, that's a man that's been married happily for a while. Killer B says Killer B likes the purity, like when an older guy talks about the Nays 32 days. Well, luckily for you guys, I won't be one of those old guys. I wasn't around the hobby when it was back then, so that whole conversation is beyond me. Killer B says Lego hangar bays. Yep, exactly right. That's exactly what it's going to be, is a bunch of hangar bays. We just need to see 2 of the 3 boxes. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, these 2 will be the fancy ones, and then the thread. Although sometimes I rotate the camera around a little bit more. It's harder with the DSLR. I like to try to get the lens on this DSLR doesn't go quite wide enough. Well, it goes pretty wide. It goes to 18 mil, but the this is as far back as I can put the camera. I like to have the where is it? The lava lamp in view, and now I've got the little the most amazing FPV present I've ever been given by Ron from the FPV Geek, which you should all be buying his Switch. He gave me this amazing little LED lit up name thing as a surprise. And yeah, FPV Geek, get it. Get you a Fat Shark Switch. Fat Shark Goggle Switch, or any Goggle Switch. It's the best. JAS, Just a Switch, by the FPV Geek. Check him out. He is the man. Speaking of, I feel like I might have missed something. There's other links down there. Affiliate links, Discord things. Yeah. check out down here. I spend a good amount of time on the description to add good stuff for you guys. So do it. Or else. Tweet FPV is also continuing to make the transmitter grip tapey things, which are awesome. I was out flying a bunch yesterday, and they were just... I can't believe I waited so long to have transmitter grips. The transmitter doesn't slide out of my hands when they get all slimy and sweaty anymore. It's amazing. Okay. Tiago says the hard is PVC based. All right. The hard is PVC based, guys. Billy needs to race. What are we racing? What? I need to stay more caught up with the chat because I talk about stuff and then I forget and it's bad. John Tyson says, I think one is polymer based shrink wrap and the other is silicone based shrink wrap. That would make a lot of sense because that would make a total amount of sense. Material. Polyolefin. I don't know. Polyolefin. Polyoxen-free? The fuck? So yeah, this is polyolefin. And then I'll bet you TBS doesn't put what they're made of. But yeah, that makes sense because science. Just spit all over the place. I'm not gonna race you, Billy. That's a terrible idea. I'm the slowest ever. I'll just freestyle the whole time. I'll look so much better in that race, but I'll be way slower. Oh, that's pretty cool, Gabriel. Proton to go. When you fly alone, do you sometimes have to convince yourself to do it? Because for me, I can be like, every flight session has the power to make me hate the hobby, which I don't want. Chris, what are you so that sounds a lot like depression, my man. At first when you said that, I thought you were gonna go with like the flying alone, don't get shanked in the back by a tramp kind of thing. Not the VTX, the people that stab. The bridge people that stab. The crims. But as I read more, I feel like you're just saying that you literally don't want to fly. Like, are you saying that if there's not somebody else to fly with, you can't like mentally bring yourself to do it? Because if so, we need to get you into some talk therapy because that's like, yeah, for sure. That's my life when I'm in the downswing of bipolar. But there's stuff that you can do to get around it. Like there's ways to. If that's what it is, let's talk more about it. It's not something that I can really get into on the stream, but yeah, it's a real thing, dude. That's depression makes me feel like I just don't want to do anything that I love, and that if I do something that I love, I'm gonna screw up, and it's gonna be terrible, which has happened before. I'm sad, I go out and I fly, I crash a bunch, and I get even more angry than I was in the first place. Yeah, okay, anxiety will do it, overthinking will do it, yeah, for sure. So yeah, it sounds like that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I have a hard time with anxiety as well. Yeah, absolutely. That happens for sure. I don't know what to say. It sucks. It really sucks. But you just wake up and do as good as you can and leave it all on the table. And just keep trying. That's all we can do. At least you don't have COVID. I hope. I have a feeling we all have it. Shit lives for 2 days on smooth surfaces. 2 days. What?
Can I just say
that means it's everywhere.
You're not the first person, because on Dak Shepard's podcast, he said the same thing. He's like, you all just, I'm putting this out there for the record. We all have it. It's all been there.
Dax Shepard, if you guys don't know, has
So
a
you have the same
podcast
thought.
called The Armchair Expert, and Kristen loves that podcast, and she's turned me on to it, and I love it too. Dax Shepard is a really smart guy. Most actors and actresses are incredibly intelligent. I guess you can kind of say that about anybody at the top of their game, right? For the most part, I guess. But yeah, check out Dax's podcast. It's really, really good. It's called The Armchair Expert. And yeah, super smart guy. And if you guys couldn't hear it, Kristen was just saying that Dax said the exact same thing, that we pretty much all have it. So yeah. Supercell says, I didn't know until Rotorite video that Evan Turner lives a minute away from me. Really? He has a racetrack set up in his backyard. You think he'd freak out if I just walked in there and started flying? He probably would, but he probably would not freak out if you just messaged him and were like, yo, Evan, can I come fly? I'm close to you. Because he's a super cool dude. I met him at the Tiny Whoop race thing in Nashville. And yeah, awesome kid. Great, great, great kid. And I use kid very lightly. Anybody in their 20s is a kid to me because I'm about to turn 40. But yeah, super nice guy. Everybody, for the record, Evan Turner is a great dude. Okay, let's work on quads. It is 4:20. We shall work on some quads. You know what else I'm going to do on this stream? So I'm still trying to figure out over here what the workbench camera is going to be set up as. And I know I've asked you guys for feedback a few times already, but I haven't done a... Oh, wait, no. We have this... we got to do the Betaflight setup. Okay, let's do that first. Let's do the Betaflight setup first. This is Cricket's board, so I need to look up a... to see what target it's on, because it won't even let me connect to it in Betaflight to look up the target for the board. So all right, let's see. So let's just go like Cricket Flight Controller Betaflight target. Let's see how good you are, Google. Nice, Gabriel. Have fun, brother. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's not going to work. Let me bring you guys over to the left monitor. Oh, by the way, the footage that I played at the beginning of the stream was... Did I tell you guys what it was? I did not tell you guys what it was. It was Bi-Blades on 6S with 2400 kV. And it was crazy. Very fun, but crazy. Okay, so let's just search for Cricket Flight Controller, and we'll try to find a product page, and we will try to figure out what the target is. That's not the one. That's the wrong color, but it might have the same target. So let's see. Unless somebody knows. Like, I don't know. That'd be cool. I'm trying to talk really quiet right now because the way I'm leaning over, the microphone is right here. Okay, so it's a 20602 gyro, which I don't love, but I think should be okay once it's on the RPM filters at least. That's more than likely the reason why this rig won't fly on Flight 1 is because it's got that. Oh, no, that doesn't make any sense. Flight 1 always uses that crazy oversensitive gyro. Steve, why it's skipping your Steve, you're not tagging me. That's why it's getting skipped. Sorry, man. You gotta do at CiottiFPV, and then that'll light your comment up in orange, and then I'll catch it. But I'm just scrolling up right now to try to catch it. Okay. What would cause a large bounce back on a new build after a fast yaw movement? Only happens on 6-inch rig. I have a 5-inch rig built exactly the same, no issues. on the same day, Kakute F7HT. So my hunch is going to be if they're built exactly the same and the only difference is 6-inch versus 5-inch props. The thank you Focus for Life for calling out his comment. So my hunch is if they're built the same, that also tells me that the motors are the same, and you can't do that. 6-inch props are way heavier than 5-inch props. The one of the big things that you need to understand with that most people don't really think through, and I didn't either. It took me a long time to learn this. Is that the error correction loop? The only way that it can do anything to prevent stuff like bounce backs and oscillations and whatnot, the only way that it can do that is by speeding up and slowing down the motor. And the motor is connected to the prop, so you've got this rotating assembly here, which one way to improve the performance of, so it needs to speed up and slow down, right? So if you lighten the rotating assembly, that's one way to get better PID performance, right? So that's why you see things like freestyle props are very lightweight, and this is one of the reasons why I like 2306 motors, because the bells weigh a lot less, since they have small... no worries, Steve. I usually try to mention that I mention it at the beginning of the stream, but if you don't come in the beginning of the stream to see it, then you won't know. But hopefully you'll come back, and now you know. So yeah, the other way is to put a bigger motor on, and then the other way is to crank the PIDs up. So you're in a situation where if you've got... So a 6-inch prop, realistically, to have the motor required, it seems like, to accurately speed up and slow it down is going to be like a 2408 or probably even bigger, probably like a 25 or maybe even a 26 is what's going to be required motor-wise to really have good control over that prop. What you can do right now is just push a bunch of P gain in, but I don't think that you're going to be able to put enough in there for it to really work. So you're probably dealing with basically what amounts to a motor and propeller combo that is just not set up for the style of flying that you're doing. So if you want to build, if all you care about is covering the most ground possible, and the like flight performance, flight footage be damned, none of that matters. You just want to go as far as you can. You can get away with putting a smaller motor and a big ass heavy, big diameter prop on. If you try to freestyle with that, it'll be miserable because the prop will be too heavy for the motor, and the motor won't have enough grunt. It won't have enough physical stator width, which is like putting a breaker bar on your lug wrench, right? As the stator gets wider, you get more mechanical, physical grip. What motors do you have on it, though, Steve? That's what I'm most interested in, the size of the motors. So, yeah, you're in a situation where if you want to fly it freestyle, the motor has to be big enough for the weight of the propeller. So I think that's really what you need to look at, is basically just increasing the size of your motors. And it's more about stator width than it is about stator height. Like, you can't go to like a 2208 and get the same effect. You got to go to a wider stator. 24, 25 millimeters, maybe even 26 millimeters wide is probably what you need to properly control a 6-inch prop. Or stay on 5-inch, move that down to 5-inch props and get a really pitchy 5-inch prop, like a 50-55 or a 51-52. That's what I'm doing for a long-range rig, because most of the motors that we have are really set up for 5-inch prop weight. But in the interim, what you can do is start adding P gain, and that should fix it a little bit. It should clean it up a little bit. When you're doing that, you want to make sure that you don't add too much P gain, and the motors will get hot, and it'll start oscillating. It'll start really bouncing back. You probably... All right, so do this, actually. Do this. Go into... hopefully you've got... Or you could do that, yeah. But if you wanted to, you just said I'm going to put the 5-inch arms on. That would be my solution, and run a really pitchy prop. But if you still want to try the 6-inch thing, in the interim, add a bunch of, thank you, Billy, Revo target. Add a bunch of P gain and D gain with the P and D slider, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. So hold that thought. Let's get this flashed. We're going to hit update firmware. I'm going to go back over here. And now my mic should be back. Okay, so we're going to go Revo. Which makes sense because those are all the Revolt boards. So Revo, let's go open. Revo open. Let's give it a shot. 415. No, I want 4.2. There is no 4.2 yet. That's annoying. That's okay. I thought it was out. I think it's only out for certain, I don't know, words. More words. Full chip erase on always, yes, and load online and flash firmware. All right, so let's give that a minute. What you're going to see in the sliders is there's the master slider, there's the second slider, which I forget what that one is. The third slider is the one that you want to start pushing up, increasing until your motors start to get hot. So, yeah, you can do that in the interim, or you can go back to 5-inch. That would be my suggestion, actually, so you don't have to buy new motors. With a 5.1 by 4.3 by 3, Steve, try a different prop. HQ props are, those V1Ss are unusually heavy, which will cause problems. Look for a lighter weight prop like a Gem fan or a T-motor prop. You'll probably have better luck with those. It is an oddball, so it might be the OSD Revolt. It is an odd. I like that. Oh, it is an OSD. I did look. There wasn't a Revo OSD. So I don't know. Does it? Where'd you see that, Billy? Revo. Wait, no. I want to search for the word target. All right, so it didn't find target. Let's search for target in all these tabs that I opened. Find, no. Find, what? Come on. Oh, well, they don't sell it anymore, it looks like. That's silly. Who else? Nope. Where'd you find that, Billy? That's a good find. I had a feeling I was going to have a hard time finding it. We'll try Revo for now, though. It'll either work or it won't. So let's connect. Apply some custom defaults. Facebook Messenger, eh? I'm going to do that on the other screen here. Okay. On GitHub. Good on you. Revolt V2 owners, take note. Uh-oh. Not currently supported. What? 3.1.7 or higher. You are at 1 for invert. Oh, no. Don't. No. I'm not going to have to pull this thing apart and solder pads and whatnot, am I? Oh, don't. Yeah, you're welcome, Steve. Great questions, man. Thank you for asking those questions. Those are really good ones. That's super helpful to many more than just you, I'm sure. Oh man, this looks like it's gonna be a All right, I'm going to try a quick version of this, and let's see what happens. So let me just go through my normal kind of steps to get this thing synced up and jib-jabbing, and if it goes annoying, If it becomes annoying, we'll probably just bail. Hold on though. Let me get another. Well, is it gonna be shit weather? Does it look like? Look at this fancy radio, guys. Look at this. Look at this thing. It's really come together. Look at those Tweet FPV grips.
It doesn't say rain.
If you want the dopest skateboard grip tape grips, Tweet FPV. Hit him up on Instagram, Facebook. He's also on Etsy. All right, hold up, guys. Hold on. I'll tell you a story while I'm doing this. What's a good story? What funny has happened this week? Anything? Anything bad happened to me lately?
No.
You guys probably can't hear me, but
I bought 2 pounds of Legos.
Kristen buys Legos by the pound, and I fucking love that. It's such a cool thing to buy Legos by the pound. I found possibly the best spot in all of Alpharetta, which is what I played at the beginning of the stream there. That was super fun. And yeah, I don't know. Other things, I guess. Farts and poops and farts. Alright, plugging some 6S batteries in here. Hopefully they don't catch on fire and burn the house down. It's not great to joke about, but you know. We joke so that we don't cry.
We have a plan for that we throw it outside.
We do. Okay. Let's get this going and start. Alright, I'm back. I'm getting hungry too. I'm gonna do a very fast version of this, and then we will finish the duo and maybe start swapping motors. Probably won't get to the motors. We'll probably just do the duo. You know what? Let me do this tomorrow night. Billy, I'm going to do this on tomorrow night's stream, and I will put it in the stream description, because I can tell this is not going to be a quick... Well, let's just see. Let's just see how bad it is. I can do this really, really quickly on the ports. So let's throw UART1 onto the Serial RX, and let's see if it will connect.
Welcome to OpenTX.
That's a very simple place to start. This, I believe, is a F7. Is this an F7? Should tell me right here. F4. Ooh, I'm glad I looked. So that means D-Shot 300, 4K, 4K. Turn the accelerometer on, barometer off, magnetometer off. Personalization. Oh no, actually that's not the personalization. Personalization is going to be... Well, I don't know, what should I call it? Billy Rules is going to be the personalization. Arming 180 so that it'll arm upside down. God forbid it's stuck in a tree. Motor direction is reversed. And we're going to pick... It's in serial, right? Where's Crossfire? Nope, it's not in bus. Where the hell's Crossfire? Is it an SP? It's not an SPI. No, of course not. What? I thought it was in an S-Bus. Oh, there it is. They're not... Why are they not in alphabetical order? I'm sure it's just me. Telemetry, I'm going to turn that on. Air mode on. I'm going to turn that off because I don't want it on all the time. OSD, I am going to turn that on. Anti-gravity is on. Dynamic filter is on. Leaving them. RX lost and RX set. Turning those on so that the ESC beeper will work. Save and reboot. ESK Race says 3B Hobby 3BR 2407 Prost 1700 kV at 32.6 grams. 32.6 grams. Nah, they should be 42.6 grams. There's no way those are 32.6 grams. Yes, ESK, that would be a I can almost guarantee you that would work on a 5.5 inch prop Worst case scenario, it would work really well for certain on a super pitchy 5-inch prop. What happens is as the pitch go up, the props become heavier. So you got to be careful. Like, that's a crazy motor though. I love those 3B motors. They 3BR motors rather. That was the first set of 5-inch motors I had was their 2207. It was awesome. They make fucking all the power in the universe. All right, so let's just see. It's not on the right model, so it's definitely not gonna work. Let's get it on the right model. So now the crossfire has gone green, and I got nothing in the tabs. So I'm going to do one more thing. Maybe it's not on UART 1. Maybe it's on UART 3. This should at least... I just want to see if I can at least get this coming in. Doesn't look like it wants to. I'm just going to go through here. See. Let me make absolutely certain that it is connecting. I thought I saw it go green. I'm going to turn this off and it should go red when I do that. Yep. So it is binding. The crossfire is binding. And then... so then the crossfire is trying to talk to the flight controller, and I don't know where it's trying to talk to it, which is why I'm just randomly going through the different ports. And if I can't get one of these to work, then that means we got to start doing the things on that GitHub. And yeah, so it's not, I'm going to have to pull the bottom apart and solder and invert and all kinds of nonsense. So I will do that tomorrow night. We gave it a quick shot, and that's okay. So if you want to see this, oh boy, the Betaflight install on this amazing giveaway rig, you're going to have to come back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll do some other stuff too, but, you know, that'll be one of the big things that we do. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there, and let's go over here. We're going to go bench cam, and the mic is still up, so that's good. Move myself over into the right corner because that's usually where we... Oh, radio near the mic. How bad was it? I might have to watch it back to... Man, crossfire is a real pain in the ass sometimes. That does not happen on FR Sky. Focus for Life flew his tadpole for the first time. Super windy and the quad oscillated a lot. Should I worry about tuning it out? If so, Justin Betaflight. Focus for Life, you want to raise... I forgot to show you guys. God damn it. One of the biggest reasons I was plugging in was to show you guys that slider. So I'm just going to plug anything in. Yeah, sure. Apply the custom defaults. That's fine. The slider I wanted to show you guys is this one here, P&D gain. So this is the slider, Focus for Life. As long as your motors aren't coming down hot, you want to start moving this P&D gain slider up. Possibly all the way up to the max here of 1.5. And then if the motors still aren't getting hot, you can come up the top here and click Enable Expert Mode, and you can just keep going. You can go even farther, all the way up to a P&D gain of 2. Leave the master multiplier alone because that affects I gain. We don't want to affect I gain. We just want to affect P&D gain. Just trust me on that. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, start pushing your P&D gain slider up, and that should help. And then whoever I was talking to about the 5-inch, 6-inch, same deal. If you're going to run 6-inch props on a lower authority motor, this P&D gain slider is your only chance of getting that to not bobble all over the place, basically. So yeah, there you guys go. That's what I wanted to show you. All right, let's unplug it. We're going to finish this, and then you know what? We can actually do the setup on this. I haven't done the... that's why it just gave me that message, because I haven't done the setup yet. So that will be pretty cool. All right, moving my ESK. That's insane. 35.3 grams for a 2407. That's crazy. I have no idea how that's possible. 2407s are usually damn near 40 grams. That's really, really impressive. Huh. Crazy. All right. Let's do some things. So, not much to finish on this rig, but there are a couple really important things that we need to do. My God. Okay. Supercell's never coming back. Oh, was it really that bad? Hey man, blame Trappy. I have nothing to do with that. All right, here we go. Let's do some things. Okay. So, what we have left to do is deal with the antennas, and I think I need to put a couple of little skids on the bottom, and we just need to really give it a good once over. This is where we're at now. Betaflight, not Betaflight, Beta FPV 1505 3600s. This is going to be 6S, 6S450, more specifically, and yeah, let's get going. Let's do some things. So I always have my power leads so that they can comfortably go into the battery strap, and then after I plug it in, I battery strap it over. That prevents the battery from coming unplugged on hard slams unless you somehow manage to completely throw the battery off of there, which is pretty rare, in which case it's going to unplug no matter what. So what do we have to manage? What we have to manage is an RXSR and a UFL antenna. RXSR is down here on the bottom, and the antennas are coming out there, and then antennas come out the sides because they're kind of shrink wrapped down. So I want to run one of these from this standoff here straight out the back. I want one completely perpendicular to the ground, and then I'm going to run the other one straight up and down, which is this one over here, and then this the video antenna is going to be at a 45, because the video antenna is the least strong. When the quad is up at a 30, 40, 50 degree angle, the video antenna is going to be as close to vertical as possible. And then the receiver antennas are going to be at a 90 so that they to one another, so that there's really no dead spot whatsoever. Now, running a UFL antenna up in the wind like this, when you start crashing through trees, the branches and whatnot and the scraggle can kind of grab on this and really pull on it. So when that happens, it can put a lot of stress on however you have it mounted. In this case, it's UFL, and then looks like two. Yeah, two zip ties. So in theory, it won't break these zip ties, but I prefer to try to get it mounted really good up here, to really eliminate that from happening. So the first thing I did, I used a big thick antenna, or zip tie rather, because they're the only thing that don't break. These little RXSR antennas won't take nearly as much of a beating because they don't have this big bulbous head on them. So I always use a bigger antenna here for this, but then so first of all, this little piece of shrink wrap isn't small enough to really grip hard on this. So I got to kind of find a better way. What I think I'm going to do is just dump a whole bunch of welders in there to just kind of glue everything together. It doesn't need to be pretty, it just needs to work. And then I think I'm going to cut this around here and melt it down a little bit to give it like a big nub. So let's get going on that. Let's cut it there. And let's start to get it a little melted. I have this handy little It like makes plasma. Hey, Focus for Life. Thanks, brother. $20 from Focus for Life. Thank you so much for responding to my question, the help you've given everyone. Hey, man, thank you. Very, very generous, especially in the weirdo, oddball time that we're in right now. That really means a lot. If you haven't been on the previous streams, Kristen is a freelance graphic designer, and as is happening with most freelancers, they're losing all their clients right now. And Kristen has been included in that. So luckily she's got one like rock star client who is hanging in there, but other than them, she's lost all her clients, and yeah, that makes it tough to live life. But maybe there'll be some bailout money coming in. Who knows? So I'm just heating the end of this zip tie up to get it to melt into like a big bulbous kind of thing, just so that it's got something to kind of hang on to. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it'll just break the little bulbous piece off. Hold on, my one LED light is going dead. Kristen just brought me soup and crackers. That's super amazing. Let me get a cracker in my mouth here. Nom, nom, nom. Nom, nom, nom. Oh fuck, it's so hot. Holy shit. She's trying to kill me. Oh fuck. Oh my god, that was so hot.
Sorry.
Holy shit. I had like a moment of panic. Oh shit, son. This girl trying to kill me. Don't get married, they fucking kill you.
You just get excited for food. You just
Oh man. It's totally my fault. Don't tell her that though. Oh my god. Alright. Everything's fine. It's all good. Thank you.
Yep.
Stay away. You're trying to kill me. What were we doing? Alright, so yeah, you see I got a little nublet going. Pull on it. Make sure it's, you can just do this with a lighter too. But just pull on it to make sure it's solid. So now, like if this shrink wrap tries to escape, and I'm gonna put a shitload of glue, welders, which is like E1000 or what the hell the name of it is. It should be a little bit better. But the other thing to do is you gotta try to get retention on this. See how that's able to move? Like I gotta try to get it so it's not gonna move around. And I think just by dumping welders in there, it might help. Yeah, if you, I wish I'd gotten a tighter bit of shrink wrap, but the head of this thing won't allow it to, whatever. So I'm gonna, this is the first time I'm gonna do this with welder like this, but I've tried to figure out how to get good retention on these a bunch of times, and I actually think that this is gonna, I think this might work. Welder is a lot stronger than you'd think. Proton says second horizontal zip tie. So I've done that. That's one of the things that I used to do a lot, was run a second zip tie right here to pull this all together. And I've not had great luck with that. It tends to just break that, or it breaks here. So I think maybe because to get the second zip tie here, you got to really crank it down hard. And when you crank a zip tie down hard, you're like getting to the limits of its strength. And then if it takes any kind of a hit, it can like go over that limit of strength that it has, right? And it'll just let go. So I don't know. Let me try welders this time. I'll get back to you guys how this works. And I don't know. This might be a relatively like elegant-ish solution to being able to do this, which is an important thing. Like I don't spend time thinking about it per se, but like, well, I guess I do. I think about it. Like not at night. I don't have like dreams about it. Like, you know. But I do. It is something that I think about because it doesn't make a difference. So yeah, let's just dump some welders up in here, and we'll see. Welders comes off pretty easily too. So if this doesn't work, it won't be that much of a nightmare to get it off. So just trying to squeeze it in there, get as much of it into the shrink wrap as I can. You guys probably can't see that at all. Just squeezing it in. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Alright, so I did it from that one side. Now let me come over to the other side. And see if we can squeeze a little more of it in there. Yeah, if you don't have any welders, man, get on Amazon right now. I should have a link in the description to welders on Amazon. This stuff is just fantastic. I feel like I could build almost an entire rig with just welders. Alright, so there we go. So I think I got a good amount of it in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to get in from below. But in theory, I got a good amount in there, right? I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, that's my theory there. That's what I'm going for with that little guy. So now we will. What if I lift it up a little bit? If I lift it up, I can put some on the bottom here. That 5-minute glue is good, but it's not as strong as this welder's. I know that for a fact. Xavier from the Tennessee area told me about that glue. We were talking about that glue when we were at Quad Camp in Tennessee at Joshua's house. And yeah, he told me about that glue, but he said it's great for like simple repairs, but for hardier stuff, you want to use welders. So that's what we're doing. All right, so now I squeezed a bunch of it into the bottom part there. That'll just hopefully... So the hard thing with this is going to be the welders needs to... Well, the reason why this is so difficult is because the UFL is smooth, right? So like it's hard to it's hard for anything to keep it in place because we don't care about left to right, front to back. We care about in and out, guys. And that's where it's hard. So, man, that is what she said. So let me get a little bit of welders on this side as well. And then we'll move on to the other antennas. The receiver antennas. Which will be much simpler and more straightforward. So there we go, held it over, just getting as much of it around as I can, and we're going to slide this back down now. And yeah, see how that does. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work. Okay, so now I got welders all over these tweezers. Somebody post what you have to search for on Amazon for Proton to find that 5-minute stuff. It's funny. I actually just saw a YouTube just displayed a commercial for it like earlier today. I think maybe they knew. I mean, I know their analytics is good, but whew, that's kind of scary that they knew you guys were going to talk about it in the future. Although it doesn't say much for the marketing that I don't remember the name of it. All right, cool. So we got that. I'm super curious how that'll hold up. If you don't know what welders is, go to Amazon and type in welder. It's not welders, it's just welder. And look for the red thing. It's contact adhesive. It's awesome. It doesn't melt on a VTX when a VTX gets really hot, like hot glue, which is my favorite thing about it. Nom, 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 nom. Alright, go back. Okay. Now, these are going to be much simpler. I'm going to bust out our little kit that I got for Amazon forever ago. And I'm just going to use black. I have a ton of the black shrink wrap, and I'm running out of the clear. I like to do clear so that I can see the ends of the exposed parts of the element in case they start to get mangled. It's nice to be able to see through the shrink wrap whether or not they're annihilated. What am I looking for here? Oh, zip ties. Right. So at the moment I'm just using these silly little pink ones. For the receiver antennas more often than not. Because they're so light that they just don't take a lot of abuse. Came around that way, so we're gonna come around this way. Okay, so thread it through, grab it, pick it up, and zip it. Alright, so check it out. I'm going to move this camera over to the other mount. And you guys can tell me which one is better. So this is the one mount setup that I've got that you guys have been looking at. Let me go to the other screen so you guys don't get dizzy as I spin it around. Alright, so I'll take it off of here. And I'm going to put it on this other mount. So here are your mount options for the bench cam. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out which one's better. My computer just said it's 4 o'clock. And it's quacking at me. Oh, farts. It's not long enough. I changed my little setup. Come on, everything is going crazy. Okay, here's the other mount. Let's get it on here. And we'll decide once and for all which camera mounting setup we're going to go with. That's an exciting thing to do on a Sunday, isn't it? Quack, quack, quack. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, 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 quack. There we go. Okay, so here's the other setup. Coming back to you in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Okay, so here's the other setup. Shut. Stop quacking. Can you grab take my pills out of the drawer for me, please? This setup is actually a lot easier for me. In that I don't have a camera right here in front of me, but I don't think you guys really get to see what the hell I'm doing. So let me just do this, and yeah. I'm just going to ignore that I moved the camera and keep working, and you guys can let me know after the fact here if this was better or worse to watch me do work on. Alright, pull that nice and tight. I like using these hex standoffs because they do a really good job of not letting zip ties rotate like little jerks. And just going to move this over as close to the other zip tie as possible. Make sure it's somewhat flat. And let's get some shrink on it. One thing that I like to do is cut the shrink ahead of time. So just kind of hold it up here, push it back to the little joint there, and then just chop it so that there's like kind of no chance that you'll accidentally chop the active element, because that ruins it. All right, And I'm going to put this on the bottom. Run it through. And I want to do one thing. I want to stretch out the end of this so that I can hopefully run it over the head of the zip tie. It'll make sense in a second, hopefully. All right. UHU glue is the same as welders. That's pretty cool. I did not know that. And I kind of ripped the... I was a little too violent with it, and I ripped it a little bit there, but that's all right. It'll live. And then I can see that our active element is just sticking out a little bit, so I'll just pull it in like that, and once I can see that it's not going to get chopped, I will cut the end of the zip tie off, and now we can put some fire on it. I'm not interested in having another tool in the form of a heat gun because lighters work just fine, in my opinion, and my opinion alone. Alright, so let's get some heat up in there, shrink that down a little bit, and yeah, it's good enough. Totally fine. There we go with one. Now we're going to do two, and when we do the second one, we're going to put the little thing in a different spot, I think. Maybe not. Usually I run one way and twist the other one to run the other way, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to come over here like this. Man, this is going to be a tight fit. I put the capacitor up a little too high on this, but that's all right. We're going to make this work. We are going to make this happen. Okay. And get some tension on it. Give it one last little pull here. Try not to break it. And I'm going to rotate it back a little bit. 6S batteries just finished up behind me. That's good news, because when this thing is done, I am out of here. See how it just made that big movement? That's because it's a hex rather than a circular jib jab flip flop. I don't care that this is facing forward a little bit because the battery is going to be there to push it backwards, so that's totally fine. Let's get our RXSR antenna threaded through here in a sensible way. Come on. Get in there. There it is. There it is. Okay, so the second RXSR antenna is coming up. And we're going to get it up in here. A little bit more shrink wrap. And let's see how much throw we've got on this one. I'm actually going to run this under some of this other stuff in here. I'm going to run this under the cluster of wires coming from the VTX. The VTX is on top of the RXSR, so I'm just going to keep the antennas under it. So if I need to work on just the VTX, I won't have an antenna running over top of it, just being annoying. Just being generally annoying. General annoyance at your service, sir and or madame. Okay, there's that. Let's see how long it is. Let's shrink it, and then we will do the Betaflight setup as quick as we can. And then if it's not raining, I'll go out and fly. God damn it! But I think it is raining. Okay. Hold this up here. See how long we need it to be. And so cover the bottom, run it up here, and I need it to be that long. It's good. Clip it. Clip my finger at the same time. That's cool. And I don't know if this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. So I'm going to try to stretch this one out a little bit more gentle than the last one. And I already fucked it up. I can't, John. So the camera is in the light. See the circular reflection? The camera. I took the lens out of the work cam here, or the I don't know. Fucking words, man. Yeah, I can't. It's and this is exactly what you said is the thing that I don't like about this camera setup right now is that it's at this weirdo angle. So yeah, that's why I'm leaning towards the other camera setup, but it's not about me. It's about you guys. Whichever camera setup you guys can see more of what I'm doing on, I don't care if it looks good. I just want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. And yeah, you guys got to let me know that because I don't really rewatch these streams unless there's something really interesting that, like an audio problem or something like that I'm troubleshooting. So I didn't stretch this out quite enough. Let's get it a little bit more stretched out. Just real gentle because this is really thin shrink wrap. And that should be enough. Yeah, that'll be enough. And I didn't quite rip it, but I almost ripped it this time, so that's great. All right, there we go. And we're going to put it down over the head of the zip tie. Yeah, that's the ticket. And then where's our active element? It is not quite poking out. That's a good thing. Chopping this. Heat. I only shrink up the tip and then the base just to make it a little bit easier to remove this shrink wrap down the road. If you shrink the whole thing to the zip tie, it is such a pain in the ass to get it back off again. There we go. That's it. Nice and floppy, moves all over the place, but won't get into the props. And then we'll see how the welder's setup on this thing does. I'm cautiously optimistic. Let me add a little bit more to the back there so that it grabs the big melted part of the antenna. Let's just get this in here. Come on, welders, where are you? There you are. All right. I want it to get down into the... Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and just squeezing it down into the shrink wrap. There we go. Cool. This is going to look like absolute hell, but I really don't care on the VTX antenna because I've lost so many of these, and they're $20 each for these nice little antennas. And yeah, just having them get ripped off is fucking maddening. I don't want to put this away like that with that blob on it. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Hey Gabriel, are you still in here? If you're in here, are the guys flying anywhere today? Okay. This is going to be a full speed setup. I'm not going to stop to really explain everything because I want to go fly. I'm not going to fly this. I'm just going to finish the setup so that it's ready to fly next time. I don't necessarily want to deal with a maiden today. But I am sick of having streams that say finishing the Acrobrat that by the end of the stream I haven't finished. Alright, there it is. That's an Acrobrat Duo. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I gotta get some kind of retention going on this. I don't want this thing flopping around. Where can I stick that to? Oh, perfect. I can retain both of these at the same time. Look at that. Alright. So I got two cables that I want to run retention on. This one and that one. So I'll just zip them together. Because they're going opposite directions. And I think that'll work. Loop it around. Or it'll pull them both out the side and just obliterate them both. So either way, it'll be a real hoot. Alright, so I wrap that around like that. And then I'm just going to close this guy. Pull this tight. And let's see how it is. I won't just freeball it and assume that it's going to work. But, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wiggle it around and see how much motion it's got. See how far it can stretch, right? Like worst possible case scenario. So they come out the top and then they go out the bottom and they push out the front. So I guess worst case is somehow this pulls completely out. But this has pretty good tension. This is... Oh, and you know what I can do? Oh, yeah, I got the solution. So this is cool. This holds this guy here, which is nice. And then what I can do is put another one up. Oh, yeah. We got this. I can run another one up here to hold the cables in the front. And then we won't really have anything to worry about. So let's get another one. Basically, the ribbon cable is holding the ribbon cable is going to be holding the yellow, white, red cable, and then the yellow, white, red, or no, and then I'm going to hold the ribbon cable in the front here if I can get a zip tie around it. This is going to be a challenging little zip tie extravaganza. But let's see what we can do here. Maybe if I run this like this up the tweezers. Trying to like push the zip tie into the tweezers and just like, oh, what am I doing? Just put it in the tweezers, you dummy, and then take the tweezers out. Well, it almost worked. Yeah, come on. Alright, let's try that again. Into the tweezers. And then I just pull this around the corner. Nope, not yet. Okay, come on, get in there. Alright, in there. And around the corner. Hey! Now we're good to go. And now I just need to spin this. Hopefully it'll spin in there. Yeah. Cool. Oh. And this wobbling that you guys have right now is the other annoying thing about this. All right, and I'm going to, when I zip this, I'm going to make sure that the big nipple part is up in there. And I'm going to pull it just enough to where it doesn't want to like rotate down and out. And there it is. So that's cool. This is an important step. Making sure all your stuff here is totally locked down before you go on the Maiden is important. Can't tell you how hard of a lesson that's been for me to learn as I go on Maidens and rip wires out the side and add another week's worth of work to a build. So there we go. Everything is pretty locked down. Nothing's going to pull out the side of the build into the props. This is going to be tucked up in here. So let's plug it in, rip through the Betaflight setup, and then I'm going to shut this mother down. We'll do some fun stuff tomorrow night. And check this out. For everybody that that waited or stayed this long, I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off of work. Our sick time resets April 1st, and I don't take much PTO. So, yeah, this week ought to be fun. There's going to be mad things. You know what? I'm not going to run through the setup. Fuck up. Yeah, well. Betaflight. All right. I'm now talking to Gabriel. All right, I'll move this mic a little closer. All right. Monitor zoom mic. Where's Betaflight? There's Betaflight. Betaflight is on. Board's upside down. Let's go 180. Save and reboot. See how that is. That's just a guess. Let's see if I got it. Nose down, nose up. To the right, to the left. Yaw right, yaw left. Yaw right, yaw left. Yep. So we're good now. I flipped the board upside down because I like to do that sometimes. This should be bound? Maybe? I think this is bound. It auto-filled a bunch of the stuff. That's really cool. I really like that they're doing that now. We're going to add this, and it is on S-Bus. I think I already had this receiver all set up, or this flight controller all set up. So this might be the least interesting, least informative setup process ever. The question is, which model was that on? So it's not that model. Is it the Acrobrat model, maybe? No. So it's still flashing red, no connection yet. Let's try this one. That's not it. Nah, it wouldn't be Dolphin, wouldn't be Simulator. Huh. Well, it's easy enough. Let's get it bound real quick like here. And everything else might actually be already good to go. Okay, where is the bind button? Oh, perfect. I buried it in wires. That is just great thinking on my part. Here's how I like to bind. I unplug the USB from the computer. I struggle to find the bind button. I hold the bind button, and then I plug the USB in. But here's the thing. I think I might have wired this in a funky way where it's sending 5 volt to the... I did. I wired the power a little weird. And... Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Never mind. Never mind. I was going to say, I thought the VTX was getting the power that the receiver was supposed to be getting through USB, but that's not true. Alright, so there's the bind button, and then I'm going to plug the USB in, and that way it goes into bind. I think. Blue is bind. What's this? Acrobrat. Select model. And let's go over here, and D16 channels 1 through 8, bind. Telemetry on. No audio? video? Oh, there it is. CLI bind? What? Oh God, sorry guys. There's a CLI bind? How does that work? What? Bind? Set bind? Auto bind? What is that? Difference between the Acrobrats, Techno FPV-esques. Basically, Tommy took about a year's worth of feedback from a whole bunch of us prototype nerds, testers, and put it, and just, you know, every time we'd break something on the V1, we would send him a picture of it, and he would strengthen those areas up, and he just kept doing that more and more and more, and eventually had a V2. The other big improvement is that it will work with a RunCam hybrid. That's what I'm really excited about. A RunCam hybrid just does not fit well in the original the V1 Acrobrat, unfortunately. How do I do that CLI bind, guys? This is a pain in the ass right now to get to this button. I don't even know if that is the button. I might just be poking at a capacitor. I think it's the button, though. I'm pretty sure it's right next to the connector here. To the left of the connector, if I remember correctly. How's that work? Bind RX SPI. What is it? It just puts it into bind mode? Get the hell out of here. No way. Yes, that slightly changed the shape of the frame, and he pushed the nose forward on the frame to get a little bit less prop in view. So you're telling me I can go into this CLI and set this thing into bind mode. So it's blue with flashing red. I'm pasting unknown command. What about if I put set in front of it? Set bind. Okay. What if I just type bind? What'll it auto? Nothing. Set bind. FreeSky SPI auto bind. That sounds like it, right? All right, let's see what happens. Oh, okay. On. Wait, no. Set auto. No. Set bind. FreeSky SPI auto bind. Equals on. Nope, not plus. Equals on. Whoop, space that out. And let's see what happens. Maybe that means I have to power it on and off. So let's see. That would make sense. So it power cycled, but well, no, it reset, but it didn't power cycle. Now it's power cycled, and nothing's happening. It's still just flashing red. Ugh, farts. All of the different bind options are coming up when I type the word bind. Or not. Oh! Well, look at that. Oh, yeah, it's on. Free Sky SPI, auto blind off. I'll have to do a little bit of research on that. That's very interesting. Let's turn it off for now, though. Ah, you bastard. Whoops. Off. Save. All right. I think we're about done. Ow. Okay. Okay. Oh man, they're not flying? Alright, fuck it. I'll stream then. Well, we'll just get this done. R, XSR, wiring, images. Yeah, there's the bind button right there. That's what I was pushing. I guess I didn't get it all the way down. Let's try again. Free Sky Bind, unknown command. Set Free Sky Bind. Invalid name. Get freeze frame bind. Nope. Unless it's in bind mode all of a sudden. No, it's not. Configurator is 10.6.0. Firmware is 4.1.3. God knows what firmware is on the RXSR. No audio? Oh, that was weird. Oh, yeah, because I was bouncing back and forth. Interesting. Any other... Bind RX SPI. Let me try that again. Bind RX SPI. Why did that happen? Have you guys always been losing audio when I've hit the bench cam? Oh my god, I think you have. Well, that's a very interesting stream then. Well, I told you guys it's hard for me to, like, when I'm over here, it's hard for me to see the chat. It just doesn't jump out at me. Oh boy. Always something. Oh, it did have audio. Okay. Weird. That's weird. How did that zoom? How did it get shut? Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Go fly, Techno. You're not missing anything, man. I'm just gonna blast through this this setup. All right. I should have just tried harder to hit the button in the first place. Okay. I'm gonna just move this back, and there's the button. Okay, yeah, I was not on the button. I was in front of the button for sure. Where did that? There it is. I know, transmitter. It's back there, pissing and moaning about activity alarms. Well, you know what? There's a chance that the bind button is permanently held down here by the way that I have this zip tied. I hope that's not the case, but there is a chance. So what you're saying is there's a chance. What's that from? Fellers. Ugh, come on. Just rotate a little bit, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I know. Inactivity alarm, inactivity alarm, inactivity alarm. Come on. Wow, this is really fighting me. This is why you should get shit bound up before you put the rest of the rig together. What the hell? Come on, yo! Let's try that. Nope. Oh my god! Get in there! Poor transmitter's back there just wailing away. Fast flashing red. I think that's bind mode, right? Fast flashing red. Man, I don't know. Do whatever you want. Just work. I haven't bound anything in a hot minute. Alright, let's see. No flashing red. No green either, though. Oh, yeah, there's the green. Okay, so fast flashing red is bind mode. All right. Oh, nope. Not bringing the transmitter over. I was just kidding. Put it on my lap over here. Maybe that's enough distance. And let's go into receiver. And, well, yeah, look at that. All right, let's go to tear. And we'll go to 4. Auto smoothness on 20. And we'll add a little bit of deadband. All right, here we go. I'm not showing it to you, and that's a stupid thing to do. There we go. Okay. So I switched over to tear. I can see aux 4 is moving around a little bit. So there's my RSSI channel, aux 4. Stick low threshold. If you go bottom left with both sticks, you can see everything is 987, so I can dump my stick low down to 1,000. Stick center always at 1,500. Stick high. If you put the sticks in the top right corner, you can see the max values. So the throttle value is down a little bit because I had my throttle curve knob on the transmitter cranked up. So there we go. Everything is above 2,000, so stick high, we can do 2,000. RC deadband 1 I always like to put in, yaw deadband 1 as well, and then auto smoothness I bumped up to 20. Save it, and next is it dumped some ports in there, which is interesting. What else? It turned the smart audio on. That's nice of it. I I just need to figure out where smart port is. I use the guides. All right, so this is a Talon F7. Which one is it? That was the question. This is the V1 Talon F7. So I try to set it up the way the guides tell you to, because if you do that, you can refer to the manual when you're doing your ports tab rather than having to like remember where you soldered it or whatever. So when I look on here, I see that they told me to put the telemetry onto TX4. So now I can just hop into Betaflight and on UART4, move this over to SmartPort, save and reboot, and in theory, it should have telemetry now. What target do we use? Henna, Talon F7 V2. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so yeah, that should be good. Everything in here looks fine. Okay. Oh, I want to turn these on for the D-Shot ESC beeper beacon thing. And cool, that should be good. Config should be good. Power and battery we're going to leave alone for the moment. Yeah, let's blast through this. Okay, so this is going to be 1505 motor 6S, so it's going to have plenty of authority. So I'm going to start by going up to 1.2, just real conservatively. I'm going to go up to 1.2 on the P&D gain. I'm going to drop the... I've been dropping the I-terms down a little bit lately just to make the rig a little bit looser in the air and a little bit more flowy. Feed forward transition, I always run at full strength all the way up at 1 to apply to the entire throttle stick travel. Throttle boost to 5 is pretty good. VBAT PID compensation, I always turn that on. I-term relax, drop that down to 10, move it over to gyro. D-min, turn the advance down to 0 to turn it off. And you can move the gain up to 30. That helps a little bit. D-min values are kind of low, but this is kind of like the new world of success on a micro, so I'm going to leave it alone. Feed forward 5, 10, and 60 are the values that I start at, and then if I need to dial them in, I'll dial them in the OSD. Rate profile settings, my personal rates are 0.6 and then 0.84, I believe it is. Nah, 0.83 it is. For super rate and no expo. Save that. Filter settings, we're going to get the... why is this? Wait. 4.1.3. Where's the, where's, the dynamic notch info? I mean, I want here. Move this to low, move this to 0. Bump this up to 250. These settings that I'm doing right now are all on the Patreon page under Tech Talk or under PIDs. I thought there was a... I feel like I'm missing something. I thought there was a... Well, because that's a dynamic filter. Man, I haven't set a rig up in a while. I'm going to move this filtering to 1.2 just to give it a little bit less. I'm going to turn off expert mode. Hold on, guys. All right. Let's save this. Receiver modes arm. We're gonna put on aux 1. I was gonna do it with the radio, but I'm not gonna do that. Aux 1 for arm. Horizon. This is my. Oh my God! I lost video switch. I put that all the way up here. I'm gonna come down here to beeper, and I'm gonna put that onto aux 3, all the way down in the switch position. OSD disable I'm not going to do. Black box I'm going to put onto aux 2 in the middle. This is all just sort of the way that I set it up. Write your questions down and I will answer them tomorrow night because I need to wrap this up. User 1, this on the Talon board, you got to just leave this alone. I know it's weird, but just leave it. Launch control, I put that on aux 2 in the middle. And I believe that's it. Mongo, don't do that. Screw that guy. Pre-arm, camera control, black box erase, FPV angle mix, OSD disable I'm not using on this rig. Yeah, that's about it. Lose that arm 1 stick. What do you mean? I use for my double arming. I use the throttle stick. You can't arm if the throttle's not at 0, and when I land, I don't throttle down to 0. So that's how I do 2-stick arming. All right, that should be good. We need to spin the motors for the first time ever. Okay, I also need to flash the, I probably need to flash this ESC. I don't even know what ESC this is. Oh, it's that Acon. No smoke, that's good. Let's see if it'll spin the motors, though. I bet you it won't spin the motors. Oh my God, it will. Look at that, except for motor 4. That one needs to be reassigned. Let's see what direction they're spinning. 2 is correct, 1 is incorrect. 3 is correct, and 4 is not spinning. So let's get the resource reassigned for motor 4 to get it spinning. So we're going to go resource, and I had to put motor 4 onto the LED strip, which is BO1. So I'm going to grab resource motor 4. I'm going to type set. I don't think I need to type set. But then most importantly, I'm going to hit BO1. Yeah, you don't have to type set. It's just resource motor 4, CO8 changing to BO1, save. And now motor 4 should spin. Let's see if it does. If you're wondering what the hell I just did, hey, look at that. And it's spinning the wrong direction. So 4 is incorrect. And 1 is incorrect. So, yeah, if you're wondering what I'm doing, there are streams on this build. Look them up, and it will make a lot more sense to you. BL Heli 32. Coming up here, and we're going to go over to connect and read setup. Okay. 1. I'm going to move motor direction to reversed, and I'm going to right setup. And then 4, I'm going to move that to reversed and right setup. Okay, now I'm going to add all 4 of them back in. I am going to go up to 48 on the PWM. Beacon delay, I'm going to take down to 2 minutes. Beep volume, I'll turn that up a little bit just because, you know, louder is always better. Move max throttle and min throttle for no reason whatsoever, but it just makes me feel a little bit better. Come on. There we go. Brake on stop, I turn that all the way up. And motor directions are good. Ramp up power, low voltage. Okay, good. Motor timing, maximum auto telemetry. Reverse, non-damp mode. Right setup. And I can see that these are on 32.6, so I'm going to have to flash them all. That's annoying. Flash BL Heli. No, it says. It says I will not. I will not let you flash me. Disconnect and reconnect. No, 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 no. Get out of here, Betaflight. Get out of here. Connect. And flash. Okay. 32.6. Huh. Why is it having such a hard time? Read setup. Nah, no music. Oh God, Proton. Yeah, the PWM, the 48K PWM frequency is real on micros. It has more of an effect than on full size rigs. SSL library online functionality is disabled without OpenSSL. What the fuck does that mean? Let me power cycle it. Ah, shit, I still have to do VTX tables. God damn you. Read setup. Nope. Proton, you just do it. You don't have to change anything. Oh, this battery might be dead. Shit. It's a brand new battery and I might have just driven it into the dirt. No, it's alright. 3.8. 3.8. 3.8. 3.8. Okay. So let's go back into Betaflight and troubleshoot. Let's disconnect. Come into Betaflight here. Alright, get the hell out of my way. Alright, config. 5.5.14 bidirectional D-shot was not turned on in there. That's not a good sign. D-shot 300. What the hell happened? I set all these and I saved them. Why the hell did it... What? It like remembered some of the stuff, but not much of it. Farts. I don't know how many motors are on this, or how many magnets are on. I'm going to take a guess and go with 12. Well, what else did it... What the hell? It like defaulted the board. What? Oh, wait. No, not CRSF. Oh, I went through this... No, I went through this in here, didn't I? Whatever. Telemetry was turned off. That's great. Oh, and air mode is still... What the hell? Wait a second. Weird. I want anti-gravity off because I want to be able to turn it on and off. Oh, nope, not anti-gravity. I'm stupid. I meant to say air mode. It is air mode that I want to turn off. I want anti-gravity on permanently. Save and reboot. Let's see if that is and or was the problem. All right. Let's connect. Nope, not going to be able to connect because there's no power to it. Now there is. Okay. Alright. Stop, man. This is... Just go away. This is never... Oh, for Christ's sakes. Disconnect. Connect. No, Techno. It has nothing to do with that. But I have some guesses. Come onto the stream tomorrow. What the fuck? Come to the stream tomorrow night and we'll talk about it. ESC setup, ESC tools, ESC interface, ESC overview, ESC flash, flash to 32.7. Yeah, this is what I want to do. Oh boy. All right, well, it's almost 6 o'clock and I don't feel like dealing with this right now. So I'll do this on my side. I showed you guys the rest of the setup. And yeah, I'm going to go try to get a battery or two in. Sorry I couldn't finish this, but fuck it. I'm getting angry. I'm going to go fly. You guys rock. Thanks for hanging until the very end. Very cool of you. Your thanks is a goat scream. That's about all I can give you. I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Until then, don't get the COVID. Go out and fly. If you're in Europe, get some sleep, damn it. You insomniacs. All right, guys, be good. See you tomorrow. Later. Wait, where's OBS? Here it is. Goodbye.